grab you a milkshake and a hamburger. We're talking Riverdale. This is a review for Riverdale, Chapter 17, The Town That Dreaded Sundown. So tonight's episode was very, very simple. I thought it was okay. It wasn't a great episode. I've said it 100 times before. There are sometimes when you have TV shows that have these sort of season-long arcs, you're always going to get these episodes that are kind of there just to be there, which I'm never a fan of. This was one of those episodes. They more or less just had an episode to sort of move the plot along. And I didn't feel a great deal of plot had been moved along. There were just two basic stories running tonight. What was going on with Betty, what was going on with Archie. We'll start with Archie. Of course, he's running the Red Circle. His video gets out. Not a lot of people are big fans of that, including Principal Weatherby, who takes Archie into the office and just reads him the riot act, and he's like, hey, you can't be doing this shit. You got to put out an apology to, the Riverdale school community. Take this down. You don't do this, you're off the football team. Well, actually, he just said you're off the football team. You know what? There's no football team, which I kind of take an issue with because when Archie started the Red Circle at the beginning, Weatherby had his back when Sergeant Keller started asking questions like, is this a vigilante group? Weatherby's like, no, Sheriff, this is just a school group. We never did find out why Principal Weatherby backed Archie and had his back. I think they just cut out a scene. And in this one, we see, Weatherby's taking a 180-degree turn. And he's not supporting it anymore because he does see it as a terrorist group. Causes a little bit of a tiff with Archie and Reggie and some of the other members of the Red Circle, where it's like, Archie gonna, apologize. And Archie's like, no, that's not what the Red Circle does. And Reggie's like, oh, shit, man, no football team, no football games. And I'm kind of wondering, why do they still have football? It's how late in the year is it? Because, last season, Archie had to break Cheryl out of the ice there. How much time was there between when Fred got shot and Archie took him to the hospital to when Fred got out? I think there might have been one hell of a time jump there. Because it's like, it's winter, and now was it spring? Why are they still playing football? Or did they just have like a few weeks there where it snowed, and then things, just kind of went back to normal? But that would kind of make it more of a fall thing. The football should be over for them. Unless, they're starting a second year already, which, like I said, that would have been one hell of a time jump, and it doesn't seem like anyone's acknowledged it. So anyway, Archie, he's going through that, and, Fred's mad at him because of the video, but Archie, he keeps up his vigilantism, and he goes to the south side, because everyone's blaming the south side, starts spraying red circles all over the place, runs into Sweet Pea, that's the one serpent who, Jughead met in the last episode. Sweet Pea doesn't take too kindly to some northerner coming down to the south and just marking up their territory. And he tells Archie this, and, Archie's like, I'm not backing down. So Sweet Pea pulls a knife, but Archie pulls the gun, chases him off, and then later, the sheriff's asking about this with, Principal Weatherby, and they search his locker, and they find a black hood. Like they actually we thought that would go somewhere. It's the black hood that Reggie had used to scare Archie, and it's like, I didn't even think about that, but I knew right away that it was bullshit. It's like, no, they're not going to think Archie's the black hood because he was there when Fred got shot. Of course, by not ratting out Reggie and his group rejoined the Red Circle, which, okay, I'm just glad Reggie stayed in the story. That scene where he quit, I was like, oh, god damn it, Reggie. Don't get out of the story. You're finally in a storyline. Stick around. So he does. And then later they had a run-in with the Southside Serpents. And the Southside Serpents beat the shit out of the Red Circle. They knifed Dilton Doily. And the whole thing is broken up by Veronica, who fires a gun in the air. It was Archie's gun that she had gotten from him. And then later, Archie's like, oh shit, that all went to shit. Maybe I should stop this Red Circle nonsense. And they throw the gun off the bridge. So is that the end of the Red Circle or not? Because it kind of seems like they're saying, hey, this is the end of the Red Circle. Maybe it's just the end for Archie. He'll quit the Red Circle, and then Reggie takes over, and we get a Reggie storyline with him running the Red Circle, and I don't think things will go too well for him. But yeah, that happened. Of course, the main story is what's happening with Betty. She gets a letter from the Black Hood, so my prediction that it would be a fake Black Hood turned out to be wrong. It wasn't Dilton Doily trying to impress her. It's legitimately, the actual Black Hood is trying to impress her. And he sent a cryptogram. And basically, in this letter, he's talking about how that speech she gave at the Jubilee inspired him. And now Betty's like, oh shit, I inspired the killer. So she doesn't even tell anyone about the letter except for Kevin. And they just sent the crypto thing to the sheriff trying to figure it out. But when they finally figure it out, they realize he's going to attack City Hall, where they had the big meeting where everyone is bitching about the South Side. And from there, nothing happens until the end when Betty gets a call from the Black Hood. Also, there's some drama between her and Jughead and Tony. Because we're all going to love that storyline. From what I understand, this Tony Topaz character is bisexual. So, I'll say it last year, when I was talking about when it was Betty and Veronica out to get Archie, this problem can be solved with a threesome. And I think there's a better chance of that happening with at least one of the ladies being bisexual. And if Betty wants to go with her, what is it, sadomasochist, bondage sadomasochist side, we could have some very decent episodes. But I think it's just going to be this sort of nagging drama going back and forth, and I don't think we're going to enjoy it. But like I said, they can just solve this problem with the threesome. So like I said, that was the main storyline. Like I said, this episode just had one of those there to be there episode feelings to it. Wasn't a terrible episode. Like I said, interesting stuff happened. But it kind of felt a little dragged out. I mean, what did we learn about the Black Hood? He likes Betty. I mean, that does give us some interesting clues. He was at the Jubilee, so I'll watch that episode. I think it was season finale when Betty's talking about, this town sucks. And watch this episode again, trying to see if there's anyone in Town Hall who looks suspicious. There is a decent thing where everyone's blaming the South Side, the poor side of Riverdale. Which still, how big is this town that they're divided like that? I come from a small town too, but, I'm sure maybe some rich people didn't get along with poor people, but there wasn't any sort of geographical distinction between the two. But, Riverdale is big enough to have a South Side and a North Side, which has 2 high schools. How the hell do they afford that? Which they bring up in the town meeting. It's like, we should close South Side High because it's a drug den. Oh, then take that money, spend it on a bigger sheriff's department. And so you already see what I was saying about how this guy might be in law enforcement. And friends of Alice Cooper, they already want more law enforcement. So the Black Hood is that ex-cop whose son died from toxic maple syrup on account of Riverdale. He wants to take over the town as the sheriff. Yeah, it might still work out. I'm kind of wondering how Betty fits into this. Because now we know the Black Hood knew that she loved this Nancy Drew book, which had this code in it. That's the code he uses for his message. So someone had to know that what a big fan she was of Nancy Drew. So like what, the town librarian, because they introduce it the town librarian, she's a woman, but maybe there's more than one. There was a guy there working at one point. Anyway, like I said, those were the clues. But they had this mentality that the South Side is to blame because they're nothing but a bunch of criminals. But it's like, what side of Riverdale did Chester Blossom, drug kingpin, and sun killer come from? You know, it's the North Side. And the killer's targeting people on the North Side because of things they've done. Adultery, child molestation, drugs and underage unmarried sex. To me, it sounds like it's someone from the fucking North Side, for one thing. Some prude up their ass, like I said. I already had my theory about an ex-cop who was also, you know, strict conservative, Bible-thumping Christian type. So I think definitely he's from the North Side, or he lived in the North Side. And it's like Dilton pointed out, it's not just the North Side of Riverdale. He took up the child molester in Greendale, even though she did live in Riverdale at one point. So I definitely think someone from the South Side, one of the serpents, is due to get killed by the Black Hood. I put it on a character called Fang because I think Sweet Pea. Although maybe Sweet Pea, because he's had the pistol. Tonight he got into it with Archie. So maybe it's Sweet Pea's the serpent who's going to get killed. And then everyone thinks Archie did it because, you know, that Archie already threatened the guy with a gun. That led to the Rumble tonight, which, of course, they're going to make it sound like it's all the South Side's fault. So maybe Sweet Pea's the one who's going to get it. I definitely think a serpent's going to get killed. Hopefully in that next episode and the one after that, but soon, you know, this that would make for a decent storyline. As far as my theory that tonight's episode was going to have a fake Black Hood, yeah, it pretty much doesn't look that way, but there's still an off chance that we have this fake Black Hood who's contacting Betty, and, you know, something will happen to him. He'll get killed off by the actual Black Hood, who will run for sheriff. Archie will recognize him, and then that creates that drama. Then maybe he frames Archie for the murder of Sweet Pea. That could happen. And that's all I got for tonight.